Bridge, please. Greetings, Alafiani. This is the Apetabi Ialosha Ola Omi Akalatunde. And my daughter trying her best not to be in the video. You figured it out. You succeeded. And this is Omi Tutu. And this is my third, it's actually my fourth video of the day, because one of the times the webcam cut out on me and I had to finish up that first video. But this is technically my third as far as subject matter is concerned of the day. But this is just a subject that I've been wanting to talk about, and just been processing it with my best friend, my closest friend, and thinking about it just for myself. But it is the attraction, and I will speak mostly about women in this particular case, because I am a woman in this lifetime, so that's how I'm experiencing life right now. But it is our attraction to bad boys. Where does that come from? What are the origins of that? And is there anything about it, that we should pay attention to, that is redeeming, that is good? And my personal thought, after I have sat and processed it and meditated on it, and just dealt with it, because I'm not coming, and I hope that I don't appear like this, but I try to make sure that everyone understands that I'm talking about what I know. I'm not talking about what I think. I'm not talking about, some theory that I have. When I'm telling you something in a video, I'm talking about what I know. And when you know something, you know it because you've experienced it. So I hope that you don't leave from watching my videos with this thought of, the Elosha, she's, so high up on this pedestal that she's never. That's not the perspective I'm coming from. I'm coming from the perspective of, when I was doing this, I had to figure out how to get myself out of it. And once I got myself out of it, I had to figure out, why was I doing that in the first place? That's the perspective I'm coming from. And I'm hoping to be able to help others who are in that same predicament, but haven't had the time to process, or the space to process and think about it, and say, okay, let me get out of this particular predicament. So what I wanted to discuss is the attraction to bad boys. And when I say bad boys, the interesting thing about that is that particular imagery has changed over time. So when I was a young girl, before I was a teenager, when I was just a young girl, the bad boy was like, Fonzie, from Happy Days, because I'm up, and Vinnie Barbarino, Welcome Back Carter. These types of characters were the bad boys. And because there were not that many black people on television, the bad boys in general were Italian. If I remember correctly, I think both of those guys were supposed to be Italian. They weren't white, because of course, from the perspective of Western society, the white boys are the good boys. So the bad boys were still this kind of dark, dark. When I say dark, I mean dark skin tone, kind of guy. And he was bad, always in trouble and not intelligent, and that was seen. But that particular, I guess, archetype was held up on television as a standard of an attractive man. And whether or not your actual thought was that Fonzie was attractive, you understood that in that setting, in the setting of the story of Happy Days, that was the place he was holding. He was supposed to be the attractive guy. So everyone reacted to him as if that were the case. And the thing about watching television is that when you're watching television, your subconscious mind is not distinguishing between what is real, like what's going on in your house, and what is fantasy, as in what's going on that screen. Your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between those two things. So as you're watching it, you are experiencing what's going on the television. So your glands, everything, the same way that it would react if it was happening to you. It's reacting that same way when you watch television. So this is another one of the reasons that television is just dangerous, and you should just limit your time viewing it as much as possible. But anyway, this, that Vinnie Barbarino, that Fonzie, those people were set up as an archetype of attractiveness. And my understanding, and what the conclusion that I have come to just in processing this for myself, is that those things play a very big role in causing women to be attracted to bad boys. These are held up as a standard of a kind of man that is the most physically attractive. If a guy, in addition to being handsome, also, wears his leather jacket and is kind of rough and tough and not necessarily concerned about school and not necessarily concerned about, work and things of that nature, then that's the standard of attractiveness. And if we take the time to think back to the shows that we watched when we were young girls, whatever they may be, because they will be different for the young girls now than they would have been when I was young, that standard is always being held up. So that was what was happening in the television realm. Then you come into the realm of music, and you had all of these bad boys of music. You had your Prince, you had your Rick James, even your Michael Jackson was bad to a certain degree. Wasn't as bad as them first two, but he was, considered a bad guy. Then if you go over to the rock and roll side, then you had, your John Bon Jovi, you had your Poison, you had your who was the other guys, Motley Crue. Even the names of the bands, Poison, Motley Crue, and that's like a British term, but Motley means like, just a thrown together, kind of ragtag band of ruffians. That's what Motley means. What it means to be a Motley Crue. So you had all these guys, and they were also set up by the media to be the standard of attractiveness. So then as you are as a young girl moving into your sexual maturity, which is what's happening during adolescence. You're moving into sexual maturity, which is completely normal, natural, and beautiful. But you're moving into sexual maturity, and as would naturally follow, you then are becoming attracted to members of the opposite sex. And you, in becoming attracted to members of the opposite sex, the archetypes that have been given to your subconscious mind are what you are going to be looking for. So, from my own personal processing, this is the root for women. And I'm speaking about women here because I'm a woman. This is how I'm experiencing this lifetime. Because I'm definitely not saying that it's not the same for me. And I'm just saying I haven't experienced it, so I don't know. But this is the root for women of that attraction to a bad boy. We are made to believe that that is what you go after. That is what you try to get. And we're also made to believe in subtle and not so very subtle ways via the media monster or the media machine that, this is hard. They're hard to get. It's hard to make a bad boy fall in love with you. It's hard to get into a relationship with a bad boy. So let's dissect this a little bit. First of all, is it hard to get in a relationship with a bad boy? It's not. That's not anything that's hard to do. Bad boys are always the ones who are going to approach you because they are, they have a devil may care attitude. They're very audacious in how they approach everything in life. So if you are an attractive woman, they're, what they consider attractive, they always gonna be approaching you. They ain't never the people whose attention is hard to get. So let's completely throw that myth on to the side. Okay, now let's get into the other thing that fuels this particular belief from my perspective. Is that women require passion. Women require passion and intensity. And it is this particular requirement that gets us such a bad rap within the patriarchy. And it causes us to be depicted as, the Lilith and, the Delilah and the Jezebel and the Mary Magdalene. This is why we, and Those are all biblical examples, and I'm aware of that. But this is why we have those particular images of women, is because passion is something that a woman requires, um, to a degree that's different from how a man requires it. And my understanding and my experience has been that, anything that is on the physical realm requires affection. Anything that's on the physical realm requires a loving touch and loving exchanges in order to thrive and do well. But each person and each thing has its own particular way of experiencing that and of getting that. So women require passion and intensity during physical exchanges, sexual exchanges, and things of that nature. And so, what we are made to believe is that that passion is available more so in the bad boy. And that is not available in the good guy. It's not available in, the nerdy guy or the geeky guy, the guy that's extremely intelligent, and the guy that's nice, and the guy that, treats you properly, and he has good manners, and he, keeps a job or really, really works hard to make his business profitable. We're made to believe that those particular guys are not as passionate. And this is simply not true. It's not true, ladies. And guys, if you are acting out that particular fantasy, if you're saying to yourself things like, good guys finish last, and women never are attracted to guys like me, then you're acting out that fantasy too. It's not true. An intelligent guy, it would in general be more passionate because he has a better understanding of himself and his place in the universe. So he can approach any situation from a perspective of having more information. He approaches every situation knowing where he stands and how to get to where he wants to go. An intelligent guy in general has done research on all types of things. So when it comes to passion and being able to express himself passionately and being able to express himself sexually in a way that is pleasing to a woman, somebody who's intelligent, somebody who's well read is actually going to be better at that because they've probably studied that too. Because people who like to study everything that they have an interest in. So it's not realistic. It's not realistic, and then it's damaging. Because you will then enter into a relationship from a woman's perspective with this guy that's this bad boy, and you have this momentary euphoria because your little girl self that still lives in your head is saying, aha, I've captured the ever elusive bad boy. And so you have this momentary euphoria, and by the time you come down off of the momentary euphoria, you are then in the process of realizing that it's all hogwash. But because it's been so heavily embedded in your subconscious mind, you may not admit that it's hogwash. That is, being with the bad boy is fun. You may not admit to yourself that that's hogwash. What you may then begin to do is try to figure out what you're doing wrong. Because surely there's nothing wrong with him. He's the archetype that you've been taught that you should always be reaching for and that you should always be going for. So surely there's nothing wrong with him. There must be something wrong with you if you guys are not having, this wonderful, mind-blowing fireworks type of time and fireworks type of exchange. But in general, people who do not take the time to be introspective, people who do not take the time to study and get to know themselves and get to know the world around them, react to most things in a very rash way. And when I say rash, I mean quick, fast, and kind of, rough and aggressive, and not in that nice rough and aggressive way, and I'm just speaking from experience. 43 years old, so you don't have to believe me, but I'm telling you what I know. I'm not telling you what I think. So in general, anyone who isn't well studied and well read, and everybody doesn't have to read like the same type of books that I read, but you do have to be well studied. However you study something, you can study something by sitting at the feet of a master and learning from them. You can study something by watching YouTube videos on it. So I'm not putting any sort of value judgment upon reading and what that can do. But I'm just saying, anyone who takes the time to study and get to know themselves and their environment, that person is going to be that slow moving, gentle, caring, let me see what you like. And anybody who doesn't is going to be this kind of rough, fast, quick, hit it and quit it type of not fun and not fulfilling. And what will then happen is you're in this relationship, you're not fulfilled, and you trying to figure out why you're not fulfilled. You're not admitting to yourself, this person ain't doing what I need to make me feel fulfilled. You're saying, this is it. This is the guy. This is the archetype I'm supposed to have. What's wrong with me? There's not anything wrong with you, but that particular archetype is a lie. It's a joke. It's a pretense. It's not anything that anybody should be taking seriously. So all of that to say, ladies, it's not, there is not any sort of deep, powerful, fun, fireworks, rockets, or anything tied up in being with the bad boy. Men, being a bad boy doesn't make you, more desirable. Doesn't make you what the ladies want. What the ladies want is passion. And the ladies may have been told that they're going to get that passion in that bad boy. But if you make sure that she's aware, and if you let her know that you can give her that same type of passion, any lady is going to be attracted to a good guy. When you are in a relationship with a bad boy, it's not stable, it's not secure, it's not healthy, and it is not safe. Okay? You are generally, you're exposing yourself to all different types of diseases because bad boys usually are not faithful. And generally, you're putting yourself in harm's way because if you are constantly keeping company with somebody who's doing something wrong, then when their comeuppance comes back, or when their deeds come back on them, as we say where I'm from, you may be there with them when whatever they've done wrong comes back to greet them in the face. So then you're going to get some of the backlash of that as well. So it's not safe, it's not secure. And when something is not safe and not secure and not healthy, as much as you may try to convince yourself that it is fun, that's not fun. Fun feels sweet. Fun feels healthy. Fun makes you happy. Fun makes you smile. Fun does not make you act dramatic. Fun does not make you have to always be cussing somebody out or, putting somebody in their place. That's not fun. Fun is happy, fun, laughing, really having a good time. That's how fun makes you feel. And if you're not feeling like that on the inside, then I would say check yourself. Check and see why you're in that relationship. Have you fallen prey to some sort of archetype that has been impressed upon you? Or is this really the person that you yourself are actually attracted to? Because most people desire safety and security and healthiness in their relationships. That's what most people desire. And if that is what you want as a lady, then what you should be seeking is someone whose lifestyle is similar to yours. If you are calm, cool, collected, handling your business and drama free, then that's what you want to seek out. If you're calm, cool, collected, and you handle your business and you're drama free, it's not going to work out if you find somebody who's buck wild, acting a fool, and ain't handling their business. That's not going to work out. It's not going to be fun. So that's my spiel on that. I've been thinking about that, so I wanted to share for anyone who may be going through that, because as I'm assuming most of us have gone through something similar. So that's the last video of the day. Peace and blessings, lots of love and light, ecstasy, abundance, and bliss to everyone who is watching. Thank you to all of my loyal viewers and everybody who's been sending videos and inboxes and messages saying, please do a video, please do a video. This is for you, especially. It's for everybody, but it's especially for you. And please come and join us in fasting for the next 10 days. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to do the video until Saturday, and then the fast is going to start on Monday. But I hope that that doesn't deter too many people from coming on and doing the Cocoa Cure Redux with us. So I'll be doing updates, on how the fast is working for us here in my home. So we're doing a total family detox. Everybody won't be fasting. I don't think. I don't. Children shouldn't fast, from my perspective. They have things in their body that are still being completely created. So I don't do that. But when we do a detox, we do, a whole family detox. So there'll be certain things that we're detoxing from together as a family, as a unit. So I'll be updating you, and hopefully they'll have some things that they want to say. They, being my children, have some things that they want to share as well. And then I'll just be sharing with you what's going on with me. So hope to see you with us. And I'll put all the website information up. www.oshaytourinstitute.com is where I can be reached for spiritual consultations, holistic health consultations, family unschooling consultations, and also my 2 books on the tradition of the Anago people, also known as the Yoruba people, Ona Akbani and Shotito. Those can be found www.oshaytourinstitute.com, OSHETURA institute.com. All right.